You can be forgiven for being confused about masks. At the beginning of the pandemic, the World Health Organization and governments here were recommending against widespread use. And the arguments haven't abated, particularly in the United States.
I was tested this morning, so it's not necessary.
But the evidence is clear. Masks do work. Professor Ryan McIntyre has researched their effectiveness and is a recognised authority on them.
There's evidence from randomised controlled clinical trials that masks protect against respiratory viruses of all kinds in community settings, and there's evidence from a systematic review commissioned by the WHO specific to COVID-19, SARS and MERS coronavirus, which shows that they offer 85% reduction in the risk of infection.
World Health Organization has endorsed the use of face masks by the public to prevent virus transmission months after most countries adopted the practice.
So why the resistance at a national level in Australia? Well, in March it was important to reserve the national stockpiles for healthcare workers, but there's no shortage now.
Initial recommendations were non-evidence-based, and when you do that, you then end up in a position where as the evidence accumulates against your position, you end up tying yourself in knots trying to get out of that position, and that's exactly what we've seen.
One argument that some on the National Health Advisory Committee make is that wearing masks could make things worse.
We have continued to recommend against widespread use of masks because of the concern that people may take more risks because of thinking the masks could do more than they can.
I don't know the reason for the national recommendations and the thinking behind it because I'm not part of that discussion. However, I do know that it's not based on the available scientific evidence.
The Victorian Chief Health Officer Brett Sutton, speaking on ABC Radio today, appeared to differ with the views at a national level.
But I'm certainly not of the view that people become complacent and they behave differently that actually puts them more at risk. I've got a team working up some advice now.
So the question is, what masks would the experts advise people to wear?
Ideally, if you can get a surgical mask or a medical mask, it's the same thing. That's the best thing, but they are single-use products, so you can't keep reusing them. If you can't afford that, then you can make a cloth mask or a fabric mask. You need multiple layers, at least 3. You need a water-resistant fabric on the front, and you need it to fit reasonably well around the face, and you have to wash it every day.
It's easy for people in other states to become complacent, but Victoria's problems could easily visit other jurisdictions before too long.
We're going to be seeing outbreaks all over Australia in the next year or so until we have an effective vaccine and enough of it to vaccinate everyone. As we open up things like cinemas and so on, I think we could have a kind of a social contract that, okay, if you want these freedoms, then help us along a bit. Try to keep the transmission down, keep your distance, wear a mask, download the COVID Safe app.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.